What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Roster Bubble Series video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when live stream pops your drops. Appreciate y'all coming back. Share this out as well. That's also helpful, getting this out to some new people on social media, whether they're Giant fans, football fans, whatever. I welcome all viewers of all kinds. With that being said, welcome back to another Roster Bubble Series video for the second time. I've said that. But anyway, if you haven't been here before, I'll give you a rundown real quickly before we go into our next candidate, our next profile. I go into a player who may be cut, who may stay on the roster, their competition. Before the competition, I should say, there's a background that I give on them. Competition, how they can win, how they can lose, and a prediction at the end. So today's candidate is probably one of the more popular candidates, and that candidate / profile is Tae Crowder, linebacker, and he is on the roster bubble. Now, a lot of people don't think so. I think so because this is a new regime, and maybe Don Martindale doesn't like him. We'll see where he is in camp, though. We'll see where he is. You know, a lot of people thought that Joe Judge was going to take in, Ryan Connolly. Didn't happen, so we have to be prepared just in case. Anyway, Tae Crowder was drafted by the New York Giants as Mr. Irrelevant in 2020. Not much expectations, but there were some expectations for him to play special teams in 2020. In training camp, he battled with Connolly, he battled with Devontae Downs, he battled with a couple of different linebackers, and then he made the roster, like all of the other linebackers, of course, that was drafted that year. There was Carter Coughlin, there was Crowder, there was T.J. Brunson. I think that was it. But with that being said, he started earning first-team reps, for lack of better words, starter reps, or I should say, first-team reps is better because he didn't start every single game. He started getting reps in Week 4 against the Rams, replacing Devontae Downs a little bit. Devontae Downs was so trash at linebacker that we preferred Tae Crowder over him because, well, Crowder had a future with the Giants, and Devontae Downs was a special teamer. He just wasn't good. But with that being said, in Week 5, he played a little bit. Week 6, he had a scoop and score. Kyler Fackrell forced the fumble on Kyle Allen, and Tae Crowder scored. He got injured for a couple of weeks, but then came back on the field and started playing second linebacker, rotating with Devontae Downs a little bit. Blake Martinez was the first linebacker, was the Mike linebacker. So with that being said, in terms of 2020 stats, Tae Crowder played 11 games. He started 6 of them. He had a fumble recovery for 43 yards, which was a touchdown. He also had his first career sack on Russell Wilson against the Seahawks. 3 tackles for loss, 3 quarterback hits, and also 4 pressures. So going into the next season, he was slated to be the second linebacker. He battled with guys like Devontae Downs, and there was a couple other linebackers that he battled with. But he ultimately won the second inside linebacker job. With that being said, he played all 17 games, and even for, I would say, Week 3, about 70-80% of the season, he was the main inside linebacker. He started every game, but Blake Martinez got injured, tore his ACL in Week 3. With that being said, Tae Crowder took over as the main linebacker, and I kind of feel bad for him because he played with some really mediocre linebackers, throughout his career, really. David Mayo in 2020, Devontae Downs in 2020, in 2021 he played with Reggie Ragland, who wasn't really that good. Sorry for the siren in the background if y'all hear that. Benardrick McKinney was okay. Jalen Smith was okay, but he just didn't really have any good accompaniment alongside him in that linebacker room. He did have 2 interceptions, one of them going against the Eagles and Jalen Hurts. I was there for that. And then also against the Bears, I think David Montgomery actually threw the interception. It was a blowout by then, so it didn't really count for much of anything. He had 1 forced fumble and 6 pass deflections to go along with 130 tackles, 1 quarterback hit, 3 tackles for loss, and 5 quarterback pressures. The year before, he played 53% of the defensive snaps. And then he played 94% of the defensive snaps in his second year. And there's a lot of questions and a lot of hubbub about, oh, well, PFF graded him as the worst linebacker in the NFL. Well, first of all, I don't listen to PFF. I think PFF is very biased. I think their grading system is very subjective. I think a lot of bias is there to personally, my opinion. But Tae Crowder's been asked to do a lot, and I think he's done it at a decent level. And remember, this is not some first-round linebacker that's a bust. It's not, Patrick Queen and, some of these other cats that have lined up at the inside linebacker position and have totally failed. Now, Queen, obviously, he's in his third year, so I'll give him some slack. But Tae Crowder was a seventh-round linebacker. He was Mr. Irrelevant. And he could still have a role for the New York Giants this year, but the question is, how much of it is it going to be, and is he going to be on the roster? Because they drafted two new linebackers in Darian Beavers and Micah McFadden. So the competition comes down to Carter Coughlin, Cam Brown, and Justin Hilliard. Yes, I did mention Darian Beavers and Micah McFadden, but those guys are locks to make the roster because they were drafted. It's pretty obvious. Carter Coughlin, I had some excitement for him. Latter end of his rookie season, he had a sack on Tom Brady, and then they switched him to inside, which I thought he would make the transition well, but unfortunately it wasn't, meant to be in the long run, I guess. He did struggle a little bit in the preseason, and to note as well, he got injured and was out for the entire season. Cam Brown got some reps, but was mainly on special teams. And then Justin Hilliard, mainly special teams guy, so I don't see him making the roster, but we still have to go for him in a roster mode video. How he can win: make plays and get a grasp of the new playbook. I think as of right now, he is still playing with the ones, and he needs to stay that way. He needs to keep it up with the ones, because Micah McFadden and Darian Beavers are still coming up. They're probably not going to get too many one reps, maybe in the preseason and in the early games, but they're still coming up. They're still learning the NFL game, learning, trying to catch up to the speed of the game. Tae Crowder could definitely be that inside linebacker too. And to note as well, the New York Giants didn't really sign a veteran linebacker. They didn't sign any of the linebackers from Baltimore that are playing the inside position, of course. I know Chris Board was available. I think he went somewhere else. There was a couple other guys as well. But it looks like it's going to be Martinez and Crowder possibly to begin the season. Maybe Beavers comes in. Maybe McFadden comes in. But I don't see them getting reps right off of the bat. Of course, I could be wrong. But how he can win one of the spots on the roster, especially in that linebacker room, make plays and get a grasp of the new playbook. How he can lose: missing tackles, not covering his assignments, not understanding the playbook. That's definitely a way you can lose a spot. And you would hate to lose it when you're touted as probably one of the starting linebackers to begin the season, because you look at Martinez, who's a guarantee. You look at McFadden, you look at Beavers. Other than that, there is no lock to make the roster. You probably need one or two more linebackers to fill in, and I believe Tae Crowder can be one of them. That's why, in my prediction, I have him making the 53-man roster. Now, does he have the inside linebacker spot for years to come? Probably not, because they drafted over him. He's from a different regime, and yes, he played solid in his role. Not elite, not great, but he played solid. He played decent in his role the last 2 years as a seventh-round pick. But it is a new regime, and they're gonna move forward most likely if they work out with Darian Beavers and Micah McFadden as the future guys, with some linebackers to add maybe in free agency or the draft next year. But for right now, Tae Crowder is making the roster in my prediction. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when the live stream pops through your drops. Appreciate y'all coming back. Big week for us in terms of the NBA draft. So on Wednesday, of course, we have the pre-draft show. On Thursday, we have the NBA draft live stream. And Saturday's NYY News TV Day. So pop out for that. Appreciate you guys. Peace out. See you later. Stay cool.